Hey everyone, I want to tell you a story. I'm 67 years old now. I feel funny saying 67 as it applies to me, but it's true. I'm 67 years old, and I want to tell you about a moment in time long ago when I was 12 years old. I'm pretty sure I was 12. I might have been 11, but it was right in there. And it's amazing what we remember, the little moments that we remember for whatever reason. But I was in the car with my father, my stepfather actually, and it was dark out. We were driving home from someplace. We were going down State Fair Boulevard, Syracuse, New York, heading towards Seneca Knolls, where we had a little tract house. And he said to me, in the course of whatever conversation we were having, that I should consider being a plumber. And I said, why? And he said, there's good money in it. Plumbers make a lot of money. I didn't know that. And I said, how come you're not a plumber? And I don't remember his answer. I think it was something to the effect of, I should have been a plumber. And I think he said to me, plumbers make as much money as doctors. He might not have said that. I might have heard that somewhere else in the ensuing years. But it always stuck with me from a very young age that my stepfather told me I should be a plumber because there's good money in being a plumber. Well, I didn't become a plumber. I went into the building trades and I became a kitchen and bathroom remodeler, and I did a lot of plumbing. A lot of plumbing. I mean, I remodeled hundreds of kitchens and bathrooms over the 22, 23 years that I was in the trades, and I did a lot of plumbing, and I liked plumbing. Plumbing can be a bummer, but if you have the tools and you know what you're doing, it's not so bad. Well, all of this brings me to today. And today, after church, I helped my friend Dale to, actually he helped me, he was like my moral support, to change the Moen tub shower cartridge in the parsonage. And I have never changed a Moen cartridge in a shower. And I've put them in, but I've never replaced the cartridge. So I've went to YouTube, and there's all kinds of videos about how to replace these cartridges and how they can be a big problem, and here's things you can do, might come out in pieces. So I was expecting the worst. I was watching these videos last night in preparation for today. I probably watched 2 hours of videos, and I got quite an education. You can learn a lot from YouTube, but I was kind of nervous because I've done a little plumbing here on my addition, but I haven't been in the trades, and you lose your confidence. Let's put it that way. It only took 4 hours to get this thing changed today. It only took 4 hours. The only reason it took 4 hours is because Dale had to drive a distance to go to Home Depot and get the right cartridge. But there was a mystery involved in this. I've lost part of it here. There was a mystery in this, and that was that I removed the cartridge. It came out, the old one, this one right here. I decided to put it back in and try it to see if maybe it would work, and it did work. The shower head was leaking, and it didn't leak anymore. Then I thought, I better just make sure that the hot and the cold are right. Well, there was no hot. It was only cold. This cartridge looked perfectly good to me, and I turned it all the way around 360 degrees. I said, are you sure you turned the hot water on? Because you turn it off when you replace these things. I doubted him and went down in the basement and looked for myself. Anyway, it turns out that this cartridge internally was broken. And it never occurred to me that internally it would be broken. A part in here had come over the opening where the hot water was supposed to come out and sealed it off. It was broken inside. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm thinking, in the old days, we had two handles, hot and cold, and we did not have mixing valves. Hot and cold was really simple, right? These things are complex, and they break, and they cost like 50-something bucks to get another one. And it occurred to me that these cartridges are an example of how complexity brings vulnerability. In a little faucet valve, complexity brings vulnerability to our civilization too. So that's something to think about, but I want to tell you another story since I'm doing stories here. When I was in the trades, I worked for a couple of contractors, local contractors, and the second guy I worked for was doing kitchen and bathroom remodeling mostly, and I was trying to make enough money to support my family, my wife and 3 kids, so that she didn't have to work so she could be a mom. I mean, she had a mom at home I had a mom at home. If you can do it, it's a good way to go. And she was willing to do that. But anyway, that's another story. The point I want to get to is that I was working this job and I decided to put an ad in the paper for small plumbing repairs, to do after work and on weekends. So I put the ad in the little shopper, we call it. It's a weekly paper. Sometimes they call it a penny saver. And the phone started ringing and I got work. I got these little, I could have had big plumbing repair jobs, but I couldn't do the big jobs. I just wanted to do the little ones, change the faucet, put in a new toilet. There's all kinds of little leaks and plumbing problems that need to get fixed, and I figured I can do these things, so I did. I actually got more work than I could handle, and it became kind of a burden. The final straw was when a guy I knew, his name was Carlton, called me up and asked me to fix the toilet in the Methodist church because it was running all the time. So before church, they would turn the valve on so that they would have a functional toilet. And then after church, Carlton would go in and shut the water off. So he wondered if I could go and change the guts in there, the fluid master, whatever they call them, little plastic thing you put in there instead of the ball. So I did that. I put a new fluid master thing in there, and I had it working good. I figured I had it working good, right? So it was fixed. I was happy with that. I got that job done and went home, and I did that on a Saturday. The next day was Sunday. And Sunday afternoon, Carlton called me up and he said, we had to cancel church today because that thing you put in there, the toilet was running all the time. It ran overnight and the well went dry. So we didn't have a functioning toilet for church. Just wanted to let you know. And I felt terrible about that. Absolutely terrible. He said, it's not a problem. I fixed it. I just had to adjust something in there. He shouldn't have had to do that, of course. And I really screwed up. And I figured, well, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. It's too much anyways to work a full-time job and then do these little jobs. It's just too much. And so that was the end of that. It lasted like 2 weeks. But the point I want to get to here, and this is kind of a long-winded thing, and I know people like, get to the point. We don't want to hear all this stuff. Well, sometimes there's a story, The point that I want to get to and tell you is that my friend Dale actually called Plumbers to come and fix this at the parsonage, and they wanted $400 an hour. $400 an hour. Who has the nerve to charge $400 an hour? He said he called several plumbers. So I guess it's supply and demand. There aren't that many plumbers. I know most of the people who watch this channel are older people like me. I look at the demographics of the channel. Not too many young people watch it. But man, if you're a young person and you want to make a good living, get into plumbing. There's an enormous amount of opportunity there. If I put that ad that I put in years ago in the paper today, I'd be running all the time. There's a tremendous need in this area of upstate central New York for anyone who can do basic, simple plumbing repairs. I'm half tempted to do it myself just because there's an opportunity there, and I'm not going to do it because I'm too old for it. My eyesight's not what it used to be, and I didn't even know how to change a Moen cartridge until today. And I learned a lot watching YouTube. Be a plumber. Get in that aspect of the trades, plumbing or electrical, HVAC. Big need for these things. So that's my story for today. 4 hours to get the Moen cartridge done. I learned a lot. It was very satisfying in the end because it worked great. And we had solved the problem. Me and Dale, took 2 of us. It's getting old. It's for the birds, I'm telling you. But yeah, it is what it is. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one.